One, two, three. Greetings, warriors! Welcome to the wake. Alright, apologize, I didn't do it last night. I was I explained it, I was out with the wife for Valentine's Day. We went and saw Captain America Brave New World, and if you flip to my channel later, my Darbarian channel later, I'll have my whole bit on that, and trust me, good movie. If you're a Marvel fan, you have to see it. If you're not a Marvel fan, right, you should see it, because it's actually a really good standalone movie, but it's one of those movies that's like glued to a lot of other things. And I can go on forever, and you guys know that, because I usually do. But, how'd you guys like Little Shop of Horrors? The doc and I had a blast putting it together, and it was one of those movies that when you guys pretty much know when we do our things, right, I try to set things up with a theme, okay? So I was trying to find a decent Valentine's Day movie that wasn't like, you know, My Bloody Valentine or something like that, mainly because I wanted to do something light for Valentine's Day this year, right? And Little Shop of Horrors, perfect Valentine's Day movie. You know, like I said, story about a boy and his plant, and it doesn't disappoint. Mr. Mushnick, right, the shop owner, right, he reminded me of a vaudevillian guy from the Catskills. Okay, now, if you guys aren't from the New York area, right, the Catskills it's a mountain range in the middle of New York State, right? And they're not like mountains like the Rockies, right? But it's a place where everybody will go on vacation. Like, if you're from the Philadelphia area, you go to the Poconos. If you're from the New York area, you go to the Catskills. And they used to have, they call it the Borscht Belt, right? And basically, that's where all these stand-up comedians who are popular in New York got their start. Okay, now, the reason why I'm going on with that is this fella, Mr. Mushnick, he reminded me of what they would do, how they would imitate your stereotypical Jewish person, right? And he was over the top, and he was really, really funny, you know? And from the beginning of the movie, that, like, one of the things that caught me, he just overdid being a Jewish guy, right? Like a lot of comedians, when they're imitating somebody, they overdo it to make it funny. Well, anyway, so I love that part, because he was really good, right? And then, you know, his daughter Audrey, right? That character was classic, right? Basically playing, like, you know, the dumb blonde, right? And just all the characters in this movie, like, were just funny. They were satirical, okay? Like, the guy that comes in and starts chomping on the marigolds, okay? Now, if you guys look at that guy, he's in a million movies as a bit player, right? I just saw him in a rerun of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, right? And he was like a subway worker or something on one of the planets, right? But he has been in a million shows as, like, pretty much himself, this bit character that he does, right? And in all the movies that he's in, I think it was like 10 of the movies, he uses the same name. I don't know the name off the top of my head right now, but, you know, it's just funny, satirical, great movie, right? I enjoyed, like, watching it again as an adult. Like I said, usually when people are watching movies, they're just watching for entertainment value, right? When we watch a movie, we have to come up, we watch it and we analyze it, right? It's basically that's what we do, right? You know, I mean, I'm a film critic. I'm on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff for, like, the regular movies I go and see. So when we watch movies like this, we kind of analyze it. So watching this movie to prepare for the show, again, I said I watched it twice, right? And I had seen it a million times before that. I remember way back seeing this on Midnight Mausoleum, which is it's a young lady who's out of Iowa, right? Who Marlena Midnight. Anyway, I saw it on there probably about maybe a year or two ago, and I'm like, wow, I haven't seen this movie in years, right? But when you're watching it and you're just watching it for entertainment, you don't notice the little goofy things, right? So I enjoyed that. Did you guys enjoy seeing Jack Nicholson, of all people, right, showing up as the patient for the dentist office, and he's sitting there reading the magazine, and the name of the magazine is Pain? Like, that was classic, right? It's one of those little things you have to, like, take in. And then the fact that after he kills the dentist, right, so he can feed him to Audrey, and then he's got to be the dentist, and the guy's like, well, I don't need Novocaine. Yeah, you can tell where he got his bits for The Shining, all right? But I enjoyed it. It was one of those movies that when you watch it, it's funny. It's just funny. And Roger Corman, as much as he has put out way too many movies, he's one of those guys that would just bulk produce movies, right? Some of them were good, some were classics, some of them were stinkers, i.e. Fantastic Four, 1990, right? And I hope someday that movie goes up for public domain, because I would love to host it on the show. I think The Haunted Hotel, which is another show on Channel 48, had it not too long ago. And I didn't get a chance to see it, but I'm going to try to catch it on their YouTube page. But anyway, so that being said, let me talk about what we got coming up. So we have a boatload of movies coming up, you guys. We already saw Ezra and Gore Girl last week, Little Shop of Horrors, right? And then we have coming up 2 more movies this month. One is called Z-Hero, right? And he's the zombie hero. And it's pretty funny. It's hokey. It's just that, it's one of those movies that it's an independent movie we picked up. And it's okay, right? But, you guys will enjoy it because we did a good time presenting it, right? Then The Final Terror, right? Final Terror has Daryl Hannah in it, if you remember her from Splash, and she used to date Jackson Brown, who was he was a singer back in the 80s and 90s, right? And she is basically a bubblehead, right? Bubblehead blonde, right? She couldn't spell her name, probably if you gave her the N and the H, But she's in it, and she plays, her bit part, the Dippy Blonde, right? And then Joe Disco's in it. If you guys remember, if you guys were old enough to remember, back in like the late 70s, early 80s, when disco was like the big thing, right? This guy was on like a lot of TV shows, right? As, Disco Joe, right? And he was, God, what was the movie? He was in Grease 2, right? He was in a TV show called Making It, right? Making It was like pretty much just like a disco show. And then he was in Bachelor Party, right? He was just, your stereotypical and New York, like, pickup artist, right? And I don't know. I enjoy him, and I enjoy him. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And it's about a camping theme, right? So we did a camping theme around it. The doctor sent me the edits, and I looked at it last night, and he did a great job. Oh my God! And when you hear me listening for a bear, right, and you hear the sound they play, you guys will get a kick out of it. It was really funny, And then in March, right, we got Q the Winged Serpent. I can't wait till we present that, right? Because the movie is really, really good for a B movie. The CGI was like 1980, right? It was, it was hokey, but for 1980, it wasn't that bad. I enjoyed that movie, and I remember seeing that movie way back on Commander USA. If you remember him, he was on the USA Network, and basically he dressed up as a superhero, presented movies, and a lot of them were kind of like Japanese horror movies. I don't know how USA got the contract for it, but they were pretty funny. But anyway, Cue the Winged Serpent you get a kick out of, right? And this kid who and I talk about him all the time. He won best shorty at Blobfest. He's actually we're going to have his interview on, and then we're going to show a couple of his videos. Then we have Phantom of the Opera for St. Patrick's Day. This is for St. Patrick's Day weekend. You guys will get a kick out of that. It's the original silent movie. I hadn't seen that in its entirety probably in like 40 years, right? And then it was one of those movies that my grandmother made me watch, right? This is my dad's mom, because she really was into like silent movies too. And she'd be one of those people that would explain what's going on through the whole time, which was kind of cool. So thank you, Granny. Thank you, my mom. All right. Then I'm haunted with my favorite redhead, Elizabeth Chamberlain, and that's from Hidden Archive. Oh, God, I can't think of the name of the production company. But we just have an agreement with them now. We're going to show a ton of their movies, them, Bayview, Midnight movies, right? Or Midnight, I can't think of the name of the company. But it's another Moonlight movies, right? That the boss has gotten contracts with, so we can show their independent movies, right? And I can't wait, because Haunted, it's a first-person movie, right? And it could be like considered found footage movie, but I liked it a lot. You guys will get a kick out of it. Then Fangs, right? An independent vampire movie. It's really hokey. You guys will get a kick out of it. I loved it. I couldn't wait. When I watched it, right? Again, like I said, I always watch it twice. I watched it a second time, right? And I'm taking my notes. I'm like, this is really hokey. And it was and the phrase I like to use that Siskel and Ebert used, that things were convenient, right? Meaning that things happened, right, off the wall just to push the plot of the movie. And when you watch it, you'll get it, right? It's not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. You guys will too. We did a good setup for that. And then the boss just announced our April and May movies. Now, first off, Spider Baby, right? Starring Lon Chaney. What a bad B movie. It is so bad. It is funny, entertaining, right? And I just saw it the other night, and it was on Pale Moonlight, right? And I'm not a big fan of that show, because the guy is like creepy, but the thing is, he's supposed to be creepy, so I guess he's doing a good job, right? And it's just bad. Lon Chaney Jr.'s in it, and I can't wait till we present that. Oh, God, you guys will laugh your buttocks off, right? Then we have X-Night, Escape from Warpel. Now, X-Night is a movie done by this guy, Jim Canatelli, right? Great guy, personally. I've met him a few times. I've interviewed him a couple times, right? He was the fisherman from Slaughter Beach that we showed back in August last year, right? And he has a comic for this, and he also has he has a couple shorts to go along with it. But I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to it. I've looked at the comic, right, and it seemed hysterical. So, Jim, we're going to have that on in April, right? Then Dead Girls, right? No idea what that's about. I can't wait, right? I'm thinking that's going to be just like a wackadoodle show, man. I haven't seen it, haven't heard anything about it, right? Then I'm Haunted too, again, with my favorite Canadian redhead, Elizabeth Chamberlain. I hope that this is as good as the first I'm Haunted which is on at the end of the month. Right, then May's movies, right? Now, May has 5 Fridays, so we're going to have 5 movies, right? The first is Axe, right? And that's a 1970s movie, right? I've heard about it, never seen it. Creature of Destruction, bad. Oh, what a funny drive-in style movie, right? And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm thinking for that, maybe the Doc and I can make a drive-in kind of a running gag around it, right? I'm looking for that. I'm Haunted 3, again, because there was so many unanswered questions from I'm Haunted 1 and 2 with Elizabeth Chamberlain that we had to go for a third. That will be a classic. I'm looking forward to that. Curse of Bigfoot. Never seen it. I've read about it because we got the list of the movies coming out. It looks like it's like a 70s, like, hokey kind of movie. Now, back in the 70s, because of the that one film that was done of Bigfoot, right? And I can't think of the guy's name, but you guys all seen it. It's like Bigfoot walking, right? And he turns and looks his head at the camera, right? So in the 70s, Bigfoot got to be a big popular phenomenon, right? Bigfoot was on, Andre the Giant actually played Bigfoot on the $6 Million Man. And then there was a couple of hokey, Bigfoot things. And then every week on the news, there would be like, there was a Bigfoot sighting in Olympia, Washington. There was a Bigfoot sighting in Bumblesticks, Idaho. You know what I mean? And it jumped on that craze. I can't wait because that looks like it's going to be a classic movie. Then Chilling. I've never heard of Chilling, right? But from what I read about it, it seems kind of like a cerebral kind of movie, and I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun, But, and if that's what we got coming up, we're also going to have Crickfoot coming up, Gamera, and Crickfoot is a movie done by a guy named Bones Johnson, Jawn, and Philly John means anything. Hey, look at that John. Oh, man, did you hear that, John? Oh, man, what a John. That's what John means. I'm from Philly. I didn't make it up. Just the way it is, right? Hey, but we're world champions, so it doesn't matter. So, pardon me, that Crickfoot's really good, right? And you guys will get a kick out of that. And then we have an appearance on May, I think it's 17th, the Doc and I, at this guy's he has a comic book convention in the Quakertown, Philadelphia area, right? And so we're going to that, and then we'll do some interviews while we're there, and then probably in early June, right? Let's put a check mark on that to present that movie, okay? And then again, the original Gamera, that's up on public domain. I can't wait to bring that. I'm hoping, right? I suggested it to the boss, right? That we show that, and then after we show it, right? There is again the kid that does the Planet Kaiju, and look him up on YouTube. The Planet Kaiju. He does a bunch of those. He has a bunch of motion action with Gamera, right? I can't wait for that. Right, we'll throw some of those in there, But anyway, I had a blast, right? And this week, and again, the Doc and I filmed our videos a couple weeks ago, right? If you get a chance, look at the video I did. And I think because I didn't see because I was out last night. I think they showed it at the beginning, but it was my Valentine's Day card to Helga playing "Love Is in the Air." If you get a chance, watch it, right? For the first 30 seconds, it's kind of slow because I'm like trying to come up with a goofy story to go along with the video, right? But then when I'm rocking out, right, I'm going disco Danny on that. You guys will get a kick out of it, right? And it's for Valentine's Day. "Love Is in the Air" is a song that, like, admit it. If you listen to the radio stations, whether you're listening to a modern station, a top 40 station, an oldie station, right? they will play that probably 50 times on Valentine's Day. And our station here in Philly that I listen to, the oldie station, they play it a ton. I imagine the Boss's station, Boss has a radio station too, 92 WON. I imagine they played that a ton on that station for Valentine's Day. All right. I gabbed at you enough. Again, thank you guys. Family, thank all my cemetery seminarians, my warriors, the doc's patients, right? Everybody who's a viewer on our show, I can't thank you enough, right? I'm having a blast doing it, right? And I hope you guys are having a good time watching it. We really try, okay? And, and the jokes for this week. So what I did was, I got the jokes for this week, and there were a ton more that we wanted to put on there, but I try to go between like 7 and 10 jokes tops, right? But there were a ton of jokes we could have thrown in there, and some were not too good for broadcast television, if you know what I mean. So, all right, Warriors, again, thank you very much, right, from the bottom of my heart, my cold, dark heart. I wish you guys a happy Valentine's Day weekend. All right, enjoy some time with your family and your girl or your guy or both, if you're like a Mormon. And, do yourself a favor. Go out and see Captain America. Right, you guys will enjoy it. All right, Mad Darbarian for WON-TV, New York, Cemetery Cinema. I'm out, and the wake is done. Da-da-da-da-da-da.